5, got a bit of 8,000, it's scared to be sold.
This week in Driving Passions, we visit the Cloys Festival for Historic Cars. And for those with a rather more modest budget but still looking for Ferrari thrills, we drive two rather cheaper Super Coupes. And if you can't even afford the bus fare home, we find that state-of-the-art arcade games can now provide fast car thrills in your local high street.
Ferraris, don't you just love them? Wouldn't you like to have one? Yeah, me too. But you know, there are ways of satisfying your Ferrari urges. Cheaper ways, more practical ways. Come with me. Now, I know what you're thinking, but this, the Vauxhall Calibra Turbo, and this, the Subaru SVX Coupe, are your passport to the Ferrari experience. Think about it. 90% of the performance, 50% of the hassle, 40% of the price. You can't go wrong. What a poor man's Ferrari, a Vauxhall Calibra Turbo. I know, it's a bit of a joke, isn't it? But it's got a 2-litre turbo engine and 4-wheel drive, so it's fast and secure. Steering feels precise. Ride's a little vague, a little woolly. Suspension's quite soft. Brakes are strong. It's got a 6-speed gearbox, so at speed, say 70 miles an hour on the motorway, the engine's spinning at about 2,750 RPM, so that's relaxed motoring. Dashboard is straight Cavalier. Climb into any 1.8 Cavalier and you'll see this thing staring you right in the kisser. Usual controls, but no air conditioning. Really miss that on a luxury car. Hardly as sexy as a Ferrari, but undeniably good looking. The Calibra has been wowing coupe lovers since the day it was launched. It's a practical shape too, a genuine 4-seater with luggage space to spare. Nothing temperamental about this, just fire up and go, rain or shine. The leather trim gives the admittedly workaday cabin a much-needed degree of sophistication. Through the bends, the Calibra is an enjoyable, predictable, but above all, secure companion. So how does Subaru's answer to the affordable Ferrari measure up? Yeah, did I say an affordable Ferrari? Yeah, there are some sort of Ferrari touches in here, like the suede. I'm not sure how the plastic wood would go down, though, in 348. All a bit tacky, really. Look at the way that shakes. Air conditioning, though, very handy, that. And a tilt-adjust steering column, and telescopic, too, comes out. Electric driver's seat. Bit of penny pinching there. The passenger seat is manual only. Auto shift, you've got a power and economy. That's pretty standard. Electric aerial button here, headlight switch here to set the angle of the beam, cruise control naturally. The whole thing is kitted out. I mean, it should be, it's a Japanese car. But if you were to bolt all these goodies onto a Ferrari, my lord, you'd be looking at, I don't know, £10,000 extra on top, conservatively. But close inspection, it starts to look a bit like a sieve. The cabin isn't quite as well sorted as a Ferrari, but putting all those negative points aside, this thing really flies. It's got turbochargers on it, and typically there's a bit of lag, but put your foot down and hang around for a second or two, and the thing really goes like stinko. Very smooth ride, not too noisy actually. That's a function of this curious glass house or cabin that it has. Rare, sure-footed, and very quick. The SVX runs a Ferrari very close indeed. Poor men's Ferraris? I think so. Affordably priced, rare, the SVX especially, and a real hoot to drive. What's more, when you get back to your SVX or Calibra after a long day, chances are it'll still be there. Your Ferrari? Probably in a box halfway to China.
This is the new Sega Rally system. It's so far removed from any other arcade game. like many other arcade games, it has a steering wheel, it's got an accelerator, it's got a brake, it's even got gears down here. Unlike any other arcade game though, this thing is actually quite like the real thing. This is not a machine where you just respond to what it's going to do. You really feel that you are driving these cars. The car I'm driving here is a Lancia Integrale rally car, and the steering is such that you can slide the car, you can bounce it on the throttle, you can left foot brake, you can get it unstable under braking. This really is as close to the real thing as you're ever going to get without getting a works drive with a Lancia rally team.
Checkpoint. Medium left.
The best thing about this game is that the people who have programmed it obviously love motor cars. This is no backroom dream of what rallying may be like. The people who have programmed this game have obviously been out, they're obviously rally minds, and they know exactly what it's all about. Which is why you don't just get one surface, you can have tarmac, you can have snow, there are forest stages, there are mud stages, there's absolutely everything you can want. The cars go over jumps. They get unstable. Over jump. There we go. That's the drum. We're in the air, and we're in the trees.
Easy left.
The other thing that really differentiates the Sega machine from lesser arcade games is that getting good at it isn't just a question of spending loads and loads of money and learning your way around the circuit. These cars really do require an awful lot of skill to drive properly. You really have to learn how to balance them properly, use the brakes and the accelerator properly. The accelerator is not just on and off. You've got to really, really modulate it properly, just like you would do in a real rally car. And if you don't, your times just aren't going to be good. Unless you have a natural talent for the game, you're just never going to be good. People who are a lot better at this than I am can really come down here, and it's just wonderful to watch. They are so good, they have such a delicacy of touch, just like the people who do it for real.
3, 2, 1.
But do you want to know the best thing about this game? It's this stage, the mountain stage. The expert stage. It's the biggest challenge on the machine, and it is just thrilling to play. I can quite understand why people get addicted to this. I've only been here an hour or two myself, and it's going to take quite a lot to get me off this machine. There's just so much to learn, there's so much fun to be had. Oh, hang on, coming into the hairpin now. There we go. Survived that one. On this stage, you can actually spin the car, which is not something that they'll let you do on the other stages. So it's even more crucial not to make any mistakes. And you've just got to be really, really precise as you fly through these presumably Italian villages. And I don't know, I haven't tried it myself, but I can't imagine that the real thing's an awful lot less fun than this.
I'm in the Midlands near Warwick, and I've come to visit the Heritage Motor Centre, a place which is chock full of British cars, but don't switch off. Inside are some of the most remarkable British cars ever built.
The museum is built in a corner of Rover's proving ground at Gaydon, where all their latest models are developed. You won't see ranks of exotic cars here. This place is dedicated to affordability. It's full of Morrises, Austins, Rovers and Standards, and none the worse for that.
This is one of the earliest British cars. It's an 1896 Wolseley three-wheeler, and it was built by Herbert Austin when he was in charge of the Wolseley Sheep Shearing Company in Birmingham. Very soon he started his own company, and eventually his name appeared on 10 million hubcaps.
You'll see a lot of familiar faces here. Cars like this literally put Britain on wheels.
What I really love about this place is its relevance to me. I was brought up in Australia, and like all Commonwealth countries, it was chock-a-block with British cars just like these. And they did a pretty darn good job too. I had loads of cars in this museum, like this Rover Cyclops, famous for the bouncing front suspension,